Right, today I'm going to talk about the IAC, or the intake something something air control valve. I think that's the word. I've been having some problems where I've been driving the Jeep and it runs fine, but I notice sometimes it idle. The RPMs will drop for a second and then come back up. Not all the time, but sometimes it'll just drop for a second, and shifting it from drive into neutral sometimes is okay. You can still feel it from time to time, but what I've been noticing the last couple days is when I'm driving down the road, acceleration's fine, letting off the gas is fine, but when you're cruising and your foot is just barely on the gas just to keep up with speed, every now and then the car will buck or like shake, or it feels like it jolts for a second, and you almost think it's like the transmission trying to shift or something. It's real weird. So I took it from drive and put it into third, because my overdrive activates at like 38. So I'm like, all right, let's try third gear and see if that works, and still same thing. So you'd be thinking, oh no, I got a transmission issue, something bad's about to go down, something's really wrong. But on the forum posts, I've heard that this might be an engine issue, more importantly, an electrical, maybe slightly mechanical issue, and that would be your IAC. When you're cruising and you're just barely on the gas, I'm pretty sure this guy works to keep your engine's intake open enough to keep the engine running. And if it doesn't and decides to close for some reason, your engine stalls for a second, then maybe opens back up. So the IAC right here, it's located right next to your TPS, or throttle position sensor, on the intake block. Two Torx bolts take these off, or Torx heads. They are Torx 20, so it just looks like this. And then you just give it a little wiggle, pull it out, and as you can see, there's some pretty nasty shit going on in here. All kinds of carbon deposits and everything. I have not touched the intake yet. I never cleaned that out. So, yeah, my IAC might need to be cleaned up a little bit. I'm not sure how this works exactly, but I'm pretty sure the carbon buildup is not a good thing. Let me turn this guy on. Bring you down in there. I'm sure my intake needs to be cleaned because I have a tremendous amount of blowback. I burn through, or not burn through, I run through anywhere from a quart every 150 to 180 miles. Yeah, it's pretty bad. So you can see my engine's covered in oil, and all the blowback comes out of this valve. I changed this PVC valve, and nothing there. But it keeps dripping down, and it goes in the intake, so I'm pretty sure what's happening is all the blowback is getting into the intake and fucking everything up and making everything look like this. So I'm sure I'll need to clean out my intake at some point, and I'm going to temporarily fix the blowback with a blow-by catch, because this is my only vehicle, and I don't have the time to rebuild the whole thing again, actually put piston rings in there and all that shit. But here's your IAC. You can either clean it up or replace it. I'm going to try and clean it up because I don't have a new one yet. But I'll let you know how that goes, and if the problem fixes itself or what have you. I guess that's an O-ring. It should probably stay in there. Yeah, it's not looking too good though. Pretty nasty. Here we are after I cleaned it all up. Looks a lot nicer. You can see all the material and everything. And this thing opens and closes somehow. Come on. This whole thing goes up and down, and there's like a spring inside, and I saw a little bit of gunk in there that I cleaned out. But I don't know, I guess we're gonna see if that does anything better. That's all I got for now, so I'll put it back in there and see what the hell it does. I gotta figure out what the hell this quacking noise is. It's really fucking annoying. Sure, you don't quack now. I think the quacking comes from this valve down here. I don't know. It still runs, I guess. Whatever, man. Yeah, right. Well, after driving this around for a couple days, problem has not changed. Hasn't gotten any better, any worse. I tried cleaning out some of the deposits that I could reach, but we're gonna put in a new IAC and see if that does anything. I don't know if the old one's bad, but it's one of the parts I haven't replaced yet. So here's the new one that I got. Looks nice and clean and cool looking. And the old one does not. The old one, I noticed I could open and close this a lot, and the other one I can't as much. So I don't know if they're supposed to actually be able to do that or what, but I don't know. So I guess I'm just gonna throw this in there and see what the hell it does. I'm able to fix my problem, maybe it won't. But yeah, we're just gonna pop it in there. Make sure to get the old O-ring out of there and just pop her in. And then tighten her down. Alright, it might be easier to put the O-ring in first. Just get the O-ring in that lip and then you can install the sensor a lot easier. So now that's in there. Let's see what it sounds like. The computer may or may not have to be reset for this one to work, but we'll see what it does. Not terrible. The real problem happens when it drives, so we'll see if that helps anything. Hopefully it does. It's hard to tell, but it's jerking me right now. Keeps making that clunk, clunk. So, still does it. That's annoying.